So I was beating my dick like it owed me money when suddenly I came on my cat, and before I knew it, I was an internet sensation known as Shane Dawson.
Oh, fuck.
Welcome back to the College Dropout Podcast. This is episode number 4. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
I am your host, Jared, and this is my co-host, Alex, and we are happy to bring you the special edition Thanksgiving episode of our podcast.
Now, Jared, do you have any special Thanksgiving traditions like my family does?
Besides stuffing the turkey with my cock before anything else, no, of course not.
Well, we like to play this game, all right? We like to take the raw turkey and we just toss it back and forth.
Okay.
But simultaneously, the entire family is jacking off onto the stuffing, and we try to see who can nut first without dropping the turkey. Whoever nuts last has to eat it. It's the Thanksgiving version of Jizz-Skit, a.k.a. Ookie Cookie, a.k.a. Coming a Cracker.
Damn.
So that was probably the most horrid sentence I've ever said in my life. So
we actually do have a couple of Thanksgiving traditions that we do at my household. Most of the time, so like a lot of the cooking like is done obviously in the morning because there's a lot of cooking that goes into Thanksgiving.
Of course, like it's crazy. You think about it, like there's like some people do like 5 courses or shit. It's like, bro, I can barely make spaghetti for myself without getting tired.
I know. My mom is a fantastic cook. By the way, I would like to also mention, last episode was a bit of a downer. However, I do have a good relationship with my parents. Now
Space creates
a lot of opportunity to build a healthier relationship, and I have a much better relationship with my parents now than I did back then. But so back on topic. Just wanted to address that just in case anybody's like, damn, Jared.
Damn, Jared, your life sucks.
Damn. No, but at my house, so since my mom has to get up early and start cooking at such like an early time, all of us are generally like, we get up with her and we help her out if she needs anything, but we actually all try to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I used to do that, then like pretty much as time goes on, literally nobody gave a shit.
I'm gonna be honest, it's really fucking boring. Like, there's parts of it that are enjoyable. Like, I was in marching band in all 4 years of high school. I was a section leader too. But, like the marching bands, so the marching bands are pretty enjoyable. But, like, almost every other fucking part about it, I'm just like, I'm fucking...
I like to look at the floats every now and then.
Yeah, some of them are pretty cool.
Like, I'll be walking through my grandma's, my living room, and I'll look at it, and I'm like, oh, wow, neat. And then I'll go straight to the kitchen.
It's not something, like, that I'd, like to sit down and just, like, invest myself into.
See, my grandma does. She just kind of sits there and just vibes.
Like, I do it because it's, like, mostly because it's tradition. But we also, like, so at the end of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, there's a float with, like, Santa on it, which is supposed to, like, signify, like, oh, Thanksgiving is over, or not, like, over, but, like, you know, Christmas is, like, the Christmas season has officially started. And at least that's how it works in my house. So like, when Santa shows up in front of Macy's in downtown New York, that is when we put up our first Christmas decoration, which was handed down from, like, our great-great-grandfather, grandparents.
Damn,
and
that
shit.
goes back.
Yeah, and that's, like, the first thing that goes up at the end of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Like, right as Santa comes out, we go ahead and take it out, put it up on the mantle. It's actually, it's one of those, like, really simple traditions that means a lot in our family.
Yeah, I know what you mean. See, I don't have a whole lot of traditions where, like, we don't play football or anything.
We don't really do.
We just kind of, like, put the bird in the oven, dog. I'm just trying to eat and go home.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really do much. Like, I guess the other tradition is, like, I think the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we always do, like, leftover night, which is where, like, we warm up all the leftovers from Thanksgiving, and we, like, invite our relatives over again.
Yeah.
To do
leftover
night. Dude, I think the last time we had my relatives over, we got into, like, I kind of got into like a little bit of a fight with them.
How so?
So at the time, like I used to be like super ultra conservative when I was in like freshman year of high school.
Really?
But like I'm pretty liberal now. Like it's pretty. I'm like pretty left wing and
change team. Huh?
But yeah, basically. But I'm also like mildly what's the term? Libertarian. So like I don't like a lot of like necessarily like the government doesn't need to be involved in everything, just some things.
Yeah.
But my grandparents are like super ultra conservative and like authoritarian. Not like fascist. Please don't think my grandparents are fascist.
My grandma's a communist.
The communist is a fucking fascist. But so we got into this argument. So there's this really common misconception that gets spread like around a lot that like there was no other way like to defeat Japan in World War II. Everybody's like, oh, you know, like a land invasion would have been extremely bloody and like not worth our time, and there would have been a lot of civilian deaths. That's not what I'm arguing. That is 110% true. Like culturally speaking, at the time, like yes, that's 110% true. That probably would have happened. Would have been a very bloody battle, and there wouldn't have been much left of Japan had we done a land invasion. However, what a lot of people don't realize that gets really glossed over by like popularized American history is that like the saying goes like, oh, the Japanese weren't going to surrender ever, and the solution was we dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to basically just outflex them out of the war.
Fucking ultimate flex.
And that's so many. It's not even really that hard to believe, given like the culture of the Japanese army and like the Japanese
like diehard warriors,
and like super into like
it's a hard word to
honoring
say,
your
isn't
family
it?
and stuff.
Warrior.
I think it's just because you're drunk.
No.
But actually, a lot of like front admirals and like fleet commanders and shit for the U.S. Navy actually like reported that like they were currently working on surrender deals, like shit like that with Japanese like.
It's like, yeah, we already made another one. Why the hell not drop it?
Because they fucking fought them back. Basically, like Japan had no more islands, and it was just mainland Japan.
Yeah.
Like their military knew they were fucked. Yeah. Like they knew that like America had them by the fucking balls, and like worst came to worst, if Japan really did refuse to surrender, they were gonna get their shit knocked out.
Yeah,
by America. So they were fucking working on surrendering deals. But the fucking mad lads back home in the US were like, man, Soviet Russia's kind of looking like strong. You know, they were like, holy shit.
That's a beefy man.
There's a beefy boy right there. So they were like, we got to do something to fucking like flex on the USSR.
Call me Malcolm
Flex. They were like, what do we have that the USSR could possibly have? Manhattan Project, obviously. They were like, well, we don't have any means to like show it off unless we were to like release the testing and stuff for it. And if we release the testing and stuff for it, then Russia would be like, oh, I'll just copy that. So, you know, the second best option would be, well, we're currently at war with these people. Why not throw a nuke at them? And then we did. And, you know, obviously that sped up the surrendering process of Japan, flexed off for the USSR. Strategically speaking and politically speaking, fantastic move. However,
outstanding move.
I'm gonna do what we like to call a pro gamer move. Drops 2 nukes on Japan.
God.
But you know, if you think about it, like it didn't really like need to happen. Like those civilian lives were basically like forfeit just to fucking flex on the USSR. And all of this, by the way, I can assure you, is actually backed up by first-hand accounts of like Navy and Army leaders that were at the front lines and directly dealing with Japanese commanders and generals and shit. Like you can look this stuff up in their diaries. Like I literally did a Google search as we were having the conversation about it, and defended my points in front of my grandparents. So I made the point for my grandparents. I was like, the dropping of the bombs was unnecessary, and my grandparents were like, no, like, you know, like super important. They wouldn't have surrendered. And I was like, no, like, I literally read it word for word, like from their fucking like, literally from the diaries, like quote for quote, the shit that they were saying. And then my grandparents were like, you don't understand. You weren't there. And I was like, okay, boomer, neither were you.
So you just gotta hit him with that okay, boomer.
And I eventually like stopped because it's my fucking grandparents. I'm not gonna sit there and like go head to head with Graham. Like, listen here, bitch. Listen here.
Fucking jump across the table and hit her with the fucking suplex.
But like, oh my god.
Right in the fucking holiday ham.
I don't even want to talk about like LGBTQ shit with my grandparents because I know for a fact the moment I open my mouth about that shit,
I think that's like anybody's grandparents, honestly. Like I said, I can't.
I feel like some people's grandparents legitimately do like try their absolute best to like understand cultural change, but I think there's so many people out there who just get stuck in their ways of thinking and stuck in their own like their own life patterns and like their own like schedules and routines and shit, where they just refuse to listen to anything that's different than what they already know.
Well, you gotta think, it's gotta be like a big change from going from like, yeah, it's alright to not like a certain group of people to having to accept so many different things.
And I'm not saying it's easy. Like I'm like in no way am I like shaming these people for like wanting to stick with what they're comfortable with, but like at the same time, I feel like the least you could do is at least withhold your judgment publicly. Yeah. Like if you have like judgment and shit because of like your own personal biases, I get like, at least if you're older. If you're younger and you're out here like fuck black people, like please go check yourself at the door. Like, like get it together. But like if you're old like that, I understand. Like it's not easy. So like if you have those kind of personal biases, like the least I'm asking is just like
try to withhold it.
Withhold that shit. Because like some of these people that like actually are going through like these fucking ridiculous times that we live in don't need to hear like that you don't like confirm that their existence is valid. Like you don't.
Back in my day,
we shot homosexual.
Back in my day, we used to chase them with sticks for fun.
We used to poke them.
No.
But like
Thanksgiving's a weird one if you think about it, man. Like, have you ever thought about like the holiday itself? Like, there's no songs for it. Like, can you name me one Thanksgiving song?
Okay, see, so I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but something that really now I know why I'm thinking about it. Because people think like, oh, Thanksgiving is such like a colonial holiday, and
that damn Christopher
Columbus. Damn Christopher Columbus and taking over. Dude, look, like Thanksgiving was literally about like cultural union, where both these people were like benefiting from the existence of the other and generally were being friendly with each other.
It was like before Christopher Columbus, like, you know?
No, this was after Christopher Columbus. But what?
Well, no, I thought it was like before he was like, yeah, you know, I'm kind of sick of just having this. I'm going to take what's yours also.
Well, the Thanksgiving was like the initial
Are you okay?
No. It was like the initial colonizers of the America, like the initial European.
Yeah.
But yeah, the initial European immigrants. That's the word I was looking for. Like basically learning like how to grow shit and stuff from like the Native Americans and like utilizing their crops and stuff and like them coming together like as a culture. I think that like that in and of itself is something that needs to be remembered.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to Christopher Columbus, I made this argument in my AP Gov class that really pissed off this one girl. I'm pretty sure she still hates my guts to this day. So sorry about it, but I'm going to make the same argument again because I think it's really valid. I think it's like talking about historical figures like that. It's super important to keep the context of the day like in mind. Sure, today, by like today's standards, if Christopher Columbus went and did what he did, he'd be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. But like you go back to his day, they didn't have concepts of germs and cross contamination and diseases based on like continents and shit and like all that fucking all that like highly complex
globalization
and all that
destroying
fucking,
of minor cultures
and shit like that. No, they didn't fucking get. They didn't understand that. And like by their standards in that day, those people were deemed less than them, and they didn't know any better. They
so
legitimately
they're like,
didn't know.
Let's just push these guys out of the way. I'm taking their shit.
Like all this stuff was dictated by like a bunch like all different kinds of people. It was societal norms to be like, oh, these people have different colored skin than me. They're less than me. And keep in mind, I'm not saying like today, oh, you have different colored skin than me. You're like, I'm saying back then in Christopher Columbus's time, that was 110% the expectation and societal norm of what was going on. So like, yeah, by today's standards, Christopher Columbus, bad dude. But like back then, just doing what everybody else was fucking doing, going along with culture. Like, you can't tell me that you're not doing the exact same fucking thing right now. And 200, 300 years from now, if humanity's still around and culture has far surpassed what we understand and know about today, you wouldn't be considered a fucking terrible person.
Or at least weird at that.
Yeah, at least weird as fuck. Like, don't come at me with this shit.
Like, culture changes.
And
it's fluid.
And he literally, like, we would not be the same fucking planet that we would not be anywhere close to the same planet we are today if it wasn't for him discovering the Americas and, like, populating them with European colonists. Like, it would not be the same. You cannot come at me with that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But what I was more getting at was, it was like Thanksgiving's like kind of a weird holiday. Like, there's not really, like, any decorations you can put up other than, like, fall time decorations. Like, what?
Like, blow up turkeys.
It's like, yeah, but, like, no one's like, oh, I can't wait to throw my blow-up turkey out on the front lawn for Thanksgiving.
We had a fucking blow-up turkey.
Bro, I was way too poor for that. I was say, but, like, you know, you got your blow-up Santas, you got your blow-up Halloween decorations, or you got your pumpkins you can put out and carve, you got your candy canes you can hang up. But, like, Thanksgiving decorations, you get, like, maybe a couple leaves, maybe, like, a cornucopia, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
I was say, and that's about it. That's everybody's decorations. Like, there's no songs, there's no carols for it.
We used to go hard as fuck for Halloween decorations at the Frondor family household when I was younger.
I mean, yeah, but like, even Halloween has like Halloween has some songs. Like, it's got the Monster Mash. You got like Michael Jackson's Thriller, but it's like Thanksgiving doesn't have any songs.
Pretty sure I just name dropped my last name, but I'm not terribly sure.
Oh, goodness.
Whatever. Fuck it at this point.
First you name drop your first name, and then name drop on your second name.
I'm just gonna whatever. Fuck it. No, we had dope as fuck like decorations for like Halloween. We had like custom ass gravestones with like a bunch of different like jokes on them and shit. Like, we had so many decorations when I was younger. They were so cool. They're so nostalgic too, because like whenever I see them, I'm just like, yeah, my childhood. Because like, keep in mind, audience, my relationship with my parents didn't get shitty until I was like 13. So like my whole childhood was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Up until I was like 11 or 12. That's when shit like kind of started getting scat. Then like 12, 13, that's when I was like, yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, no, Thanksgiving's a weird one for sure.
But so here's my thing, right? So Black Friday, right? Like, it's literally the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Oh my god.
But like people go out and they like camp for days for like
random
Black Friday sales and
these
shit.
Deals, right?
Here's my question. Like, do those people like hold their place in line with like tents and shit and go home for Thanksgiving, or do they just camp the fuck out the whole time and just say, "Suck my dick, Graham. I'm getting this fucking 65-inch LED TV, bro.
I'm getting you this toaster, you old bitch, and you're gonna like it." Yeah, I don't know.
I've never gone Black Friday shopping. Yeah.
Dude, is this kid out here riding Heelys?
Dude, there's plenty of people with...
There's a kid outside of Jared's dorm. I think he's rocking some Heelys right now. I'm a little jealous, personally.
No, they're all skateboarding and shit.
Sorry, I got very, very distracted. But yeah, no, it's like, you gotta think, like, Some of these people, they get vicious over their Black Friday deals.
Dude, people get mad ass fights in these places too.
Right, I saw like some grandma like pepper sprayed people over a fucking flat screen a few years ago.
I mean, like, I might try my luck at some point.
I've only been Black Friday shopping one time. And it was for my mom for my own Christmas gift. I was getting an Xbox 360. I was hyped. I had like a limited edition Skylander in there. I was getting it. Was fucking nice.
I'm trying to get a PlayStation 4 for cheap as fuck.
There you go.
And like last weekend, I tried I actually finally like worked up the courage to message somebody on I think Let Go.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, it took this dude fucking forever to get like message my responses and shit. Yeah. But eventually, like, we got to the point in conversation where we were starting talking about, like, you know, seeing if it functioned. He was like, I don't feel comfortable going to your house. And I was like, fine. He's like, I don't want you coming to mine either. I was like, okay, fine. Make me a video and then send it to me. He's like, okay. And I was like, but make sure that you have a spoon in the video so that I know that, like, you made it for me. Clever. Yeah. I'm a clever boy. But then, then he leaves me on red for, like, half a day. And then, not even half the day, for the rest of the day. Wake up the next morning, right? Mm-hmm. And got a message from him. He's like, hey there. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so when do you want to meet up? I'm like, you've yet to send me the video I asked for, you dumb fucker. I'm not going anywhere until you send me that video. He's like, I thought I could show it to you when we meet up. I'm like, dude, I'm not looking at that video when we meet up. I want to at least know that the damn thing works.
And so first off, how's he going to show you? He's got like a fucking generator in his car. He's about to hook it up too.
Well, no. Like the video. Like when he sees me, he's going to show me the video. And I'm like,
that's just scary.
I was like, dude, if you're going to like take like, if you're not even going to show like that it works in real life, you might as well send me the video so that I don't have to like travel somewhere, like go somewhere to meet you just to see the fucking video. Like, I don't want to waste my gas, you dumb fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. I don't think I'm gonna message that guy again.
Probably, I would say no.
The deal was too good to be true, in my opinion, because it was like,
how much was he offering?
It's like $100.
Damn.
I know. I was like, fuck, dude. I was getting cables with it too. I got everything.
Damn, you had the whole
anything. Got the whole 9 yards. I actually, there's one that's.
So you've been drinking too much, Jared.
There's one actually. There's a deal up here. There's like $120 for like a custom Destiny 2 PlayStation with a controller and all the cables. And I mean, I don't play Destiny. I used to work with this guy who was a member, like a pretty top shelf member of like one of the biggest clans in Destiny 2 on PlayStation.
Really?
And he was like, oh yeah, like we'll invite you into the party, into the clan, and I'll like put you on a special roster so you don't ever get deleted. Because I was like, dude, I don't play it very much. He's like, no worry. So like I literally like I got added to the clan maybe a week after I got added to the clan. I think the season ended. Dude, I literally had so much fucking loot. I think I got like 2 characters to like max fucking light.
Seriously, I played Destiny for like a second. It wasn't very long. I played like the first one. I wasn't so.
I didn't like the first one very much, but the second one, I actually did get one of my characters to max level, like by myself, and completed the campaign, which was pretty cool. But I don't know. I think that game, like those kind of games, are really based on like clan-based gameplay and like getting in touch with like players that also play the game. A game that I actually got really into myself was actually it's free to play too. Warframe. I played the shit out of Warframe for a fat minute.
Really, I've never heard of it. What's like the whole deal of it?
So it's based on like it's based on like this like special race of like, I guess, aliens. I don't want to spoil it because there's a massive spoiler, so I'm just gonna say aliens. Of like aliens called Tenno, who are like super alien space robot ninjas that like.
That's very specific.
The combat for the game is so fucking cool. There's melee, guns, sidearms. You have 4 different abilities based on like what warframe you're using, and like the air, like the like. There's so much shit to do in that game. Like at first it seems like there's a lot, but once you get into like the meat and potatoes of the game, like it is so enjoyable. the grind is hard, but like the payoff when you finally get that one, like that warframe and that gun that you're working towards, is so good. Because almost every single warframe like base looks dope as fuck. Like even without the custom skins that you can get for them and shit, they look dope as shit. And like even getting like the like prime ones, which are like the ultra special like top tier things, is not like terribly difficult. Like I think I had like a prime weapon and I was almost done building a prime warframe before like I kind of started to fall off the game a little bit.
Yeah. And
I wasn't even in a clan or anything. Like I wasn't in a clan or had people helping me or anything like that.
You're a solo player. You're a beater, Jared.
God, fuck SAO. Get that bullshit out of my fucking podcast. While we're on the topic of video games, I want to quickly talk about Outer Worlds real quick. I had 2 other video games I want to talk about. I think like Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare. New Call of Duty's great, by the way. Played it, really enjoyed it.
Rant incoming, audience. I just want to let y'all know.
Fuck off. So I'm gonna make it quick because we're running short on time. But so Outer Worlds came out, dope ass fucking game, developed by the studio actually that developed that was responsible for developing Fallout New Vegas. And I think Outer Worlds is a great fucking lesson for the entire RPG community, but particularly Bethesda Game Studios. So this one goes out to you, Bethesda.
Bethesda, you're amazing. You made Skyrim one of my all-time, if not my all-time favorite game.
I love Skyrim. That game made up like my late childhood to teen years, dude. That shit was my jam.
I don't think anybody's fully played Skyrim and genuinely didn't enjoy it. Like, sure, I've a few people played like the first mission and didn't enjoy it. But if anyone who's gotten past like the first like hour or 2 of the game has loved it.
In my opinion, the game might have been like glitchy and might not necessarily be like the fucking best game that ever graced the planet. But like I love Skyrim with all my heart and soul. I bought it for the PlayStation 3. I bought it for the PlayStation 4. If I had like PlayStation VR, I'd have that shit. Like I love Skyrim. But my problem with Bethesda is like their quality has like Skyrim's quality wasn't the best, but I still loved the game. The world building was fucking fantastic.
I was gonna say there was so much to do in it.
I loved Skyrim. I really did. I loved it.
There were so many like small like offside stories you could
Fallout
follow.
4 can actually suck my fucking cock because that game isn't an RPG. That game is just like it has you literally have a set character and a set world with a set goal, with a set ending with mild variability thrown in.
Which Fallout is this?
Fallout 4.
Oh, I loved Fallout 4.
Okay, look, the gunplay for Fallout 4 was actually a lot better than previous Fallout.
And granted, that was my first ever Fallout I had ever played, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the whole storyline was amazing. It was a complete twist at the end. Oh my goodness. Like, spoiler, if that's a spoiler, but I did not see it coming. It was flawlessly done. It was so good. The story...
Fuck off.
Amazing.
No, look.
The guns, amazing. The creatures, diverse.
Okay. Story aside, my problems with Fallout lay in the, like, blatant, like, game-breaking glitches and, like, hard-ass problems with the software.
Really? I never experienced
the engine that was used to make Fallout, I'm pretty sure is the same engine that was used to make Skyrim and Fallout 3 and all those games that used to like you remember how Fallout 3 looked like shit.
Yeah.
Like it definitely wasn't like game breaking graphics wise, but like Fallout 3 was a good game.
I mean I think that's one of Bethesda's
Suck my dick.
Yeah, fuck off, car. But no, I think that's one of like Bethesda's main points is that they don't really focus super hard on things like graphic. There's like a fight going off in our. Hold on, audience. Jared's about to check it out. I would say, but yeah, no. What I was saying, I think Bethesda doesn't focus too hard on graphics, but I think they really do a good job of making an entertaining story and a single player game.
Fallout 76 is a fucking travesty.
That was a
horrible
mess.
A terrible excuse, a cash grab, and generally the worst fucking thing I've ever seen ever. And I personally am terrified for Elder Scrolls, the next Elder Scrolls game. Because I love Skyrim, like I said, and I want the next game to be absolutely fucking beautiful and fantastic. I want Bethesda to take their time, and I hope that Outer Worlds succeeding so much and proving to Bethesda that they are not the only studio out here making good-ass RPG games that can finally fucking get it through their thick skulls that just their name alone is no longer going to carry their games because of Outer Worlds. And I think that I'm hoping that this makes them change up their developing cycle, makes them reevaluate how they are making games so that when Elder Scrolls 6, I think it's 6, right? Yeah.
I think
6.
so.
When Elder Scrolls 6 drops, that shit claps. And because I really want to see Bethesda come back in a big way, especially with Elder Scrolls 6.
After these like recent flops they've had, honestly.
And I really think that they're probably going to do that. But I literally could not give less of a fuck if it takes them like another year or two to develop Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah,
if that means high polish, quality ass gameplay, and ensuring that the game is more than good, it's great. Yes. Because I really want them to come back in a big fucking way.
Honest to God.
I think we're
a little out of time.
We're a little out of time.
This has been our Thanksgiving special on the College Dropout podcast. This is episode 4. This is Alex and Jared signing off. You guys have a great night.
Have a great one.